So guys, as you can see right here, I've got two pictures of the same guy. He's got fair skin, cool undertones, but notice how the colors have a different effect on him. The navy blue provides a nice contrast without being overpowering. That beige, on the other hand, it makes his skin look washed out. Other colors that don't work for him, yellow. This tends to clash with his cool undertones and makes the skin appear sallow. Orange as well, it's a little bit too harsh and makes his skin look pale and tired. Compare that with the color emerald, which actually brings out his undertones and makes him look balanced. And let's look at lavender. It's a soft color that complements his cool undertones beautifully. Now, what if you've got medium colored skin with neutral undertones? Again, you're gonna find that some colors work, like deep purple, teal, coral. Other colors like mustard, ash gray, neon green, yeah, those don't work as well. You're gonna want to avoid them. What about olive skin with warm undertones? Avoid chartreuse, cool gray, and even baby blue. Even though you may like it, it's often too light and can clash with warm undertones. Versus the color burgundy, which is rich and complements the warm undertones, along with the colors burnt orange and ivory. Gents, my point here is that there are colors that suit you and there are colors that don't. And by wearing unflattering colors, you're doing yourself no favors. You're gonna make yourself look older, you're gonna make your skin look tired and worn out. Versus taking the time to find the colors that suit your complexion, that suit your undertone, that work for you. Now, of course, before you can find the colors that suit you, you need to know what your skin tone is. That one's pretty easy. As you can see here, we've got a chart that breaks it out, and you don't have to get exact, you just want to get close. Now, figuring out your undertone, that seems hard, but it's actually really easy. The key here is just to look at your skin and what are the colors of your veins. Another telltale sign is your choice of jewelry color. Most of us cooler undertone guys, we lean towards silver. Most warmer undertone guys lean towards golds. And neutrals, of course, you can go either way. Armed with those two bits of information, gents, you'll find it's relatively easy to find a list of colors that will work for you and your complexion. But of course, nothing beats trying the clothing on in person, or at least holding it up to your face and seeing how it works in the mirror. Which I know for some of you guys may seem like a lot of work, but I promise you, if you just find 3 to 5 colors that work for your complexion, gents, that one action will put you ahead of most guys. You'll be able to build a wardrobe of clothing that looks great on you instead of buying clothing and colors that make you look old. Now, straight up, gents, there is nothing wrong with getting older. In fact, when it comes to attraction levels, I remember reading in the New York Times that men peak at age 52, which is pretty interesting if you think about it. In any case, the purpose of today's video is to make sure you're not making mistakes that make you look old and tired, because that's not a good thing. And it doesn't matter if you're 62, it doesn't matter if you're 32. There are mistakes that you need to avoid that make you look outdated, that make you look out of touch. That's what we're trying to avoid here. Now, before I get into this next mistake, I want to talk about something that affects most guys as they age, and that is hair loss. Gents, if you're starting to lose your hair, you need to check out today's sponsor, Keeps. Now, gents, I've been talking about Keeps for years because I love what these guys do. Keeps is an online subscription service that makes it easy and affordable for men to treat their male pattern baldness. And they can do all this from the comfort of their own home. Gents, with Keeps, you get clinically proven treatments that address hair loss and boost hair regrowth. All of this delivered right to your door in discreet packaging. To get started, go over to keeps.com/RMRS. Once you're over there, you're going to complete an online consultation. The treatment is personalized to your unique needs and is recommended by a licensed medical professional. Gents, the reality is Keeps has helped over 1 million men keep their hair. In fact, when you go over to their website, you're going to see they've got over 4,500 5-star reviews. So remember, gents, hair loss stops with Keeps. To get started, gents, go to keeps.com/RMRS. I always make sure that you get the best deal on the web, so use it or lose it. Again, gents, check out keeps.com/RMRS. All right, gents, so let's talk about outdated trends. Shiny or satin shirts, frosty tips, spiky hair, baggy cargo shorts, tracksuits in all of their glory, super skinny jeans and super loose jeans, long line tees, extreme distressed clothing, man buns, a shaved in part, overly stacked bracelets. Here's the deal. Men, we're creatures of habit. When we find something we like, we stick with it. And in many ways, this works out well for us. But when it comes to fashion trends, it makes it look like we are stuck in a time loop. I have a buddy in his early 40s that takes care of himself, but still wears the same affliction clothing, the Ed Hardy clothing he's been wearing for almost 20 years. Now, to his credit, I've got to acknowledge a couple points. Number one, he's got the body to still be able to wear that type of clothing. The second point is he wears it with confidence. So in some ways, he's able to pull it off, but it does make him look, I think, a bit outdated because everyone knows that clothing has not been popular for almost 20 years. But hey, all the more power to him. Maybe single-handedly, he's going to bring it back. However, for most men, sticking with the trend that was popular 10 years ago doesn't make you look confident. It makes you, in most cases, look out of touch. Now, am I saying that you should go out there and find the latest trend and jump on that? No, my advice is simply to strip out the dated pieces like, the flaming skulls, the rhinestones, maybe the extreme fits or distressing, and get back to the basics, the foundational pieces that just make any man look good. Start there when updating your wardrobe, and then look to add 1 or 2 pieces that really work for you and your build. Now, right with this, let's talk about dressing for your age. When it comes down to it, gents, I think a man that's confident, that knows his style, that knows what he wants and works for his body type can wear pretty much anything he wants. But the reality is, as you age, those constraints sometimes get a bit tighter as your body changes, as your hair changes in color from jet black to a salt and pepper look. Maybe you put on a few pounds, or that tight fit clothing just doesn't feel as good as it used to. When rebuilding your wardrobe, when dressing your age, one of the things you want to do is shop at stores that actually are more suited to your demographic. Now, it may seem obvious, but now that you're 32, the clothing you used to buy when you were 22 at Abercrombie & Fitch, American Eagle, PacSun, Topman, Hollister, in general, those companies are making clothing for a younger demographic. You've outgrown it. Now, I'm not saying if you're 42, you can't go into PacSun and get a great bathing suit, but it's a lot harder in your 40s to go into Vans or go into Supreme and being able to build a wardrobe. I mean, it's not impossible, and some of you guys can definitely do it, or at least grab a few pieces from those clothing stores. But what I would recommend if you're in your late 20s, 30s, 40s, go into stores that are designed to serve your demographic. And gents, what's great about this is nowadays you got even more options than you did 10 or 20 years ago. J. Crew, Banana Republic. When it comes to basics, Uniqlo, Bonobos, Club Monaco, Ted Baker, Hugo Boss, Ralph Lauren. And again, gents, if you're in your 50s, I'm not saying you got to only shop at Brooks Brothers. You could be in your 20s, find something that works really well for you in Brooks Brothers. My point is, you're more likely to find something that suits your build and your demographic if you go into the store. It's actually targeting the age group in which you fit in. Again, gents, it may seem obvious, but so many of us, we are creatures of habit. We like to go back to the stores that we've always shopped at, not realizing that we've probably outgrown what they're trying to sell us. Now, this next mistake I have fallen into, and you got your old university t-shirts, maybe sweatshirts, they just look good. You've got sentimental feelings. My advice here is to put them in a box, put them in the back of your closet, and to stop wearing them day to day. Or better yet, share them with your nephew, share it with your kids. I know my kids have raided my closet and have stolen all of my old university gear, which is cool. It looks better on them than it does on me, because on me, that worn out clothing, it just makes you as an older guy look worn out. Now, another older guy specific issue is that you're starting to grow hair in areas that you didn't normally grow hair. All of a sudden, your eyebrows are doing things that, what is up with some of these long hairs? They're like 2 inches, have a life of their own, coming out of your nose, coming out of your ears. The easiest thing to do here is when you go see your barber, have them take care of that, or just simply have the tools in every single week, clean up those nose hair, clean up those ear hairs, and don't be afraid to run some trimmers over the eyebrows, but make sure you've got the right size guard. You don't want to get rid of those eyebrows. No, that's never a good look. Now, another mistake that really dates guys is wearing old-fashioned glasses. I get it. You're in your 40s. You need glasses at night when you're out driving. But here's the deal. You now have so many options, and so many guys just go to something that gets the job done versus looking at glasses as a great accessory. And gents, I want to reiterate, you've got so many options. I was in Warbley Park the other day. Guys, hundreds, if not thousands of different styles that you can try on. And really, there is no excuse for, if you're going to be wearing glasses, why not be able to bring a bit of personality, be able to bring an interesting style, a different color. So many different options out there, guys. Don't limit yourself and have fun with glasses. Make your glasses an accessory that bring energy and life to your wardrobe, not ones that sap it away. All right, gents, so let's talk pleats. I have to admit, as a 20-year-old getting his first pair of dress pants, I liked pleats. They were something I sought out, something that I made sure were on my trousers. I didn't understand what they were. I just thought they looked good. And I think when you are in your early 20s, you can pull off a lot of clothing, and it definitely doesn't make you look older. But if you're in your 50s, in your 60s, and you're in great shape, there really is no reason to go with pleats. Pleats, as many of you guys may know, were actually designed to be worn with trousers that are worn at the natural waist, which is almost to the level of the belly button. This is trousers to be made to be worn with suspenders. And the idea of the pleats here were men that had a little bit more weight around the midsection, so that basically the pants would open up, they would close up, and it just gave you more freedom of movement before we had stretch materials. So historically, pleats have always been associated with men that are wearing suspenders, with more of an old-fashioned style, with older men. Now, am I saying that pleats make you look old? No and yes. I think that as an older guy, if you are in great shape, you love pleats, and you wear them and they're not blown out when you're wearing them, then hey, go for it. But for most guys, especially if you want a younger look, I think a flat front is still going to be perfect. And pleats, make sure they fit you right. You don't want to have it so that they're already blown out when you wear them normally. And they are a detail on trousers that in general, if you wanted to look younger, I would say avoid. Now, we talked about outdated styles, but one thing you may not know that you kind of latched onto maybe was an outdated color or an outdated pattern. And as such, the clothing industry in general has certain colors and patterns which are in fashion for that season. Now, as such, more of that clothing is manufactured, more of it is put out in the box stores. Now, the problem here is you may have picked up a lot of shirts, maybe even some outerwear that has these really interesting patterns or these colors, which nowadays we don't see much anymore. Now, in general, this is why I always tell guys, go with the base classic colors that never go out of style versus trying to jump onto the whimsical winds of fashion. So be careful of those statement pieces that you bought a few years ago. They could become dated very quickly. Now, what about hairstyles? Yes, your hairstyle could be outdated, and this is definitely something a guy finds he likes and he sticks with it maybe a little bit too long. Guys, this video, I've got you covered. I talk about what is trending right now in hairstyles and how to really find the right hairstyle for you. There's a secret tip. I promise you're going to love it in this video. It's really simple, but so many people don't think about this. So guys, I got you covered. Check out this video right here and find the hairstyle that works for you.